And right away, all the pattern that we couldn't see before is just being lifted up with the Blacklight, and we're definitely seeing that really cool Monsoon pattern on her. Hey, what's up guys, it's Austin here, and I hope you're having a great day today. In today's video, we're going to highlight some of the super cool white snakes we have here at Mutation Creation. Before we get into that, huge shout out to E-Town Morphs. Thank you so much for this really cool shirt. And they're definitely not slacking on the back, so go and scan one of those if you definitely want to go and check them out. I would appreciate it, they would appreciate it, and we have a lot of work to do here today. We have to go and pair over 100 males and get them breeding to the females, so it's going to take a lot of time, and then we have cleaning and everything else, and then I have to make this video for you guys, so let's get into the day. So as you can see, we have a lot of tubs open here, and actually every tub that is open is a male, and they're all outbreeding. We have just over 100 males outbreeding right now, and if you look at all the breeder females we have here, we have just over 400, around 420 to be exact, and that's about a quarter of the snakes here are paired or breeding right now, which is just super cool. And we like to pair our females up for like 3 to 5 days, sometimes a little longer if they're locked, sometimes a little less if the male has more females, but generally we like to breed them once a month. So if a male's seeing 4 females, he'll see those 4 females in the weeks and then redo the cycle the following month. Sometimes we have males that have 2 females, 3 females, sometimes 5 or 6. So we do it a little less. So they do take a week off, or a week they are doing 2 females. So sometimes we have males working a little harder, some working a little less, depending on what genetics there are. And that's just because we make some really cool snakes. And now we're gonna get into some of those really cool snakes. The white snakes we have here at Mutation Creation. We do have a lot, but a lot of them are actually being paired right now. And I don't want to get into them because I don't want to disturb any locks. We really do not want that to happen because we want to see all those really cool egg cutting videos we're gonna have here at Mutation Creation. But other than that, let's just dive right into the white snakes. We have these 3 Ivory girls here, and they're all their own different combos. So this first one over here, I believe, is a Calico Ivory, and Calico brought really nice white sides on the Ivory. It's a little hard to tell, but if I zoom in, you can really see what I'm talking about. Calico tends to bring a lot of white sides into the snakes, and that's definitely translating into the Ivory. And then right next to it, we have an Orange Dream Ivory, and Orange Dream likes to bring in all these really nice tones in the back, some oranges, some purples, and you just see the pattern a lot better. And then you also get this really nice head stamp, and there's also possibly Enchi in this clutch I also forgot to mention, and this girl I also think is Enchi because you have those really nice wide eye bands. And then last but not least, we have this one right over here, which I believe is an Ivory, Orange Dream, Enchi Calico. Once again, we have those really wide eye bands over there, but we also have this really nice color you're seeing on the dorsal from the Enchi and the Orange Dream, but we also have those really nice Calico white sides. So I'm definitely thinking that that's all 3 of them inside of there. This one has 2 genes, and this one is just a single gene. So once again, we think this is a Calico Ivory, an Orange Dream Enchi Ivory, and an Orange Dream Enchi Calico Ivory. So right here we have a Pewter Ivory, or Pastel Cinnamon, super yellow belly, and Pewter really made that more white. You have this really nice white dorsal eye stripe on the side, and then there's just no dorsal stripe like you're getting on the normal Ivories. And this guy just really wants to tour around, so we're gonna go and put him back and we'll move on to some of the other white snakes. So here's a snake I actually showed inside of the gray snake video, and this is that Super Pastel Fire Lesser Cinnamon, or Super Pastel Fire Lesser Cinnamon Pinstripe. We're not too sure, we have to prove him out, but this guy definitely has a lot of white on him, and even some patches where it looks like cookie dough or Oreo ice cream. And then these yellows coming up, but definitely a lot of nice white tones. And that's from the Super Pastel, the Cinnamon, and the Lesser together. They really work well together at brightening it up and just blushing everything out. And then when you put Pinstripe or Fire into it, it definitely adds to that effect, and then you're just getting this really nice look that you're seeing here. I really like the blushed out head in this guy, and I like all the colors it has on the eye stripes. Super cool, and this is just a really unique snake. I'm not too sure, even if you were to produce another one of these, if it would look exactly the same, because this is such an amazing snake. This guy right here is a banana ivory, and banana did something really cool to the ivory. It brought in all these really nice orange tones. They're kind of hard to notice, but if you take a really close look at the dorsal, you can see that dorsal stripe with the purple, and then this really nice orange that just bleeds down into the white sides. And if you don't look close enough, you're definitely gonna miss it. But there is a little bit of an orange head stamp as well, which is indicating the banana, which is just super cool. And I thought a banana ivory would just be all white, but definitely not the case. So I just showed you guys banana ivory, but right here we have a banana freeway combo, and this is a super pastel banana freeway. And when you add super pastel into freeway, it really whitens things up and blushes them out, especially in the banana. Banana freeways tend to be this really nice orange and almost red color, but then when the super pastel or even just pastel comes in, it really washes it out. But the super pastel leaves you this really nice white color at the top, but it does fade into some pinks, and you do have the yellow pattern throughout. But this is still a white snake because you do have all this really nice white coming into the dorsal and just banding over, which looks amazing. I really like this snake. Too bad this one isn't a female and it's a male, so it's probably gonna be for sale. But if it was a female, I would love to see it grow. But we actually do have a super pastel freeway combo that we have seen grown here, and it just looks amazing. So we're gonna move on to that right now. So of course, if I'm showing you guys white snakes, I'm gonna show you the white boa here. And hopefully she's not in too pissy of a mood today. And right off the bat, she's really tense. She's in a striking position and hissing. But this is an all-white boa constrictor, or a super fire boa. They're also called Princess Diamonds, but they're really cool. They were actually started way back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, by Jeremy Stone. So if you do want to get some of these, definitely go hit up Jeremy Stone for some fire boas or even some super fires like this. Or if you're in Canada, Chuck Royal definitely has some, so go and check out Serpents Exotics, because they do produce these beautiful things too. And that's actually where this girl's from, and I just can't wait to go and see her grow, maybe get the same size as Midnight, because these guys are just insane. They really like to eat, especially with this girl, but that's not always the case. And I actually flinched so bad there that by accident I stopped recording. So she looks like she wants to bite me really badly right now. She almost got me, but luckily enough I was able to pull away. But I did close the flap on the camera, which did stop recording. So I'm gonna go and let her be now, because she's definitely not in the mood. She probably wants to eat, and she's looking at my hand through the glass as I'm trying to close this like a rat. So thank God it didn't get bit. And let's go move back to the ball pythons. Right here we have a super pastel orange dream freeway, or a super pastel orange dream asphalt yellow belly. And this looks a lot like that banana super pastel freeway I just showed you guys, but there's a lot more purples, and that's from the orange dream, especially towards the tail. I noticed that orange dream likes to bring a lot of purples and oranges into the freeway, but when you add the pastel, it definitely washes it out, and then the super pastel takes it that much further, and you get this really nice white that just bands over the top. And that head is just super blushed out and it's really white. It actually looks paper white, so if I were to hold a white paper next to this, it'd be almost the exact same color. Really cool. So right here we have a super fire girl, and super fires tend to be all white, but sometimes if you're lucky you can get these really nice orange patches on the top. There are some genes that you can add to super fire that do make more of these colors come out. I know that leopard is one of them. I'm not too sure about enchi, but I do believe there is a handful of other ones, and there are some that can reduce it. I've heard that lesser super fires does reduce the amount of yellow blotching you do get on the super fires, which is just really cool and insightful if you do want to make that all white snake. We actually don't even have any blue eye leucistics here, so we do not have any super lessers, super mojaves, or a combination of the two, which kind of sucks, but we do have some other cool white snakes, so let's go move on to them now. This girl is a black pastel, blackhead lavender, and albinos can bring a lot of white tones into snakes too. Not so much the lavenders unless you add some really dark genes, because inside a lavender albino, when you add a dark gene, it tends to translate into a white color, just like you're seeing right here, when the usual lavender albinos tend to be more purple, and that's why they get their name lavender albino. But if you're using the normal albinos, they tend to stay very white inside of the pattern. And if you were to breed a gene like cinnamon into it, or even black pastel, you can make some really nice high contrast albinos that have some really nice orange and yellows and contrast really well with the whites, just like what you're seeing here. So like I said before, we don't have any super Mojaves, super lessers, or Mojave lesser combinations, but we do have some other white bells, and this is a super special lemon blast and possible spider male. He is one of the proven breeders here, and it's just really cool. He's even possible het Monsoon, and we haven't been able to prove that out yet, but some of the babies he makes looks really wacky, and we're just being really hopeful and fingers crossed that he does prove out. But I really like all the gray tones he has in him, but mostly a very white snake. Over the years he has gotten a little bit dirtier, and the pattern has started to fade together and just make this really nice gray color on top. But you do still have some contrast with this nice white line right here along the belly, which gets really white, and then of course the belly is also white. So a really cool combination. Super specials are just awesome, and when you add some genes to them, you can make the colors pop, and other genes will just take the colors away and make it an all white snake, which is just super cool. So I showed you some ivories earlier, but I didn't show you just a base gene ivory, and that's what we have here. This is just a super yellow belly, or an ivory, what they're called, and they get their ivory name obviously from the ivory color, and ivory is just an off shade of white. And that's because right in the dorsal they usually have this nice yellow line. Sometimes they tend to fade out as they get older. In this case, this girl is really big. She's around 3,000 grams, so she definitely had a lot of years for that color to fade out. And sometimes they can even have this really nice pattern on the head and yellow blushing, but once again on this girl it faded out. So now let's go move on to some of the other ivory adults we have here. Here's another ivory combo, and this is a pastel ivory, and we actually have two adult pastel ivories I'm going to show you. And there's a little bit of polymorphism throughout the genes. Right here, this one has a very faded stripe. You can still see it, but it's very faded and only visible if I zoom in all the way. It even has a little bit of the purple highlights around the yellow, but for the most part, it's pretty faded, especially the head pattern. It's barely noticeable. You can see a little bit above the eyes, but most of it is gone. And this snake truly looks like an all-white snake, except for that little hint of purple and yellow, but really nice snake. And if I just go and move all the way over here to this other pastel ivory we have here, it's actually being paired right now. So right here we have a Firefly confusion male, and this is obviously a pastel ivory once again. But you can see this girl has a really nice pronounced yellow stripe, and we actually do not have any of that purple color you were seeing before, which is a little bit off. And then if we look at the head, it's very blushed out. She's probably not going to cooperate as much, but instead of having those purple tones or gray tones, we have more yellow tones. And I'm going to leave her be because she is being paired right now, and from this pairing we're hoping to get some Firefly yellow belly confusions and just some yellow belly confusion females and even a male, so we can make some confusion freeways in the future. So here's a snake I wanted to show you guys in my last pied video, but I couldn't find it since we moved all the snakes in the rack and not all of them were labeled. But since all of them are labeled now, but this girl right here is a cinnamon spider pieds, and both cinnamon and spider tend to leave you with a really high white pied and usually only some head pattern with maybe one or two patches throughout. But when you mix them together, it leaves you a solid white snake with just a really nice orange and black head. Looks really cool, very different, and something I really like. I usually do not like the high white pieds, but something like this I could definitely go for. So right here is actually the last white snake I'm going to be showing you guys today. We had a lot more white snakes, but as I said before, they're breeding, and a lot of them we do not know where they are right now. They are mixed up with the other hatchlings. They do get taken care of, it's just that we cannot pinpoint where they are, especially for videos like this. So maybe in the future when we're finishing labeling, I'll be able to find them better. But right here we have a super cool snake. This is a pastel super special Monsoon. It's also possible spot nose, pinstripe, and spider. But since we have no wobble in this girl, I'm pretty sure that there's no spider in here. But we do still have the possibility of pinstripe and spot nose, which is just super cool. And if we zoom in really close, you can really see that Monsoon pattern. Of course, with the pastel, it washes it out. And even the super special, being an all-white snake, is definitely hiding a lot of it. But if we're gonna go and do this video, I'm definitely gonna turn off the lights and show you this under a black light. So let's go do that right now. So I just got the lights turned off here, and right away, all the pattern that we couldn't see before is just being lifted up with the black light, and we're definitely seeing that really cool Monsoon pattern on her. and it's really hard to see on the head, of course, with the pastel, and there's actually a possibility of super pastel in this girl, but nonetheless, a super cool snake. Really nice to have a breeding size Monsoon here, and her being super special to boot is just insane because all of her babies will be special, and if she proves out to be super pastel too, that would be amazing. So we're going to definitely breed some other recessives into the Monsoon with this girl. We're not looking just to make some Monsoons with her, even though that'd be really nice. We're looking to shoot for the future and make some amazing snakes. So that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed all the super cool white snakes I showed you guys. We're going to be producing a lot more white snakes, and like I said, we have a lot of more white snakes that I couldn't show today, so another white snake video is coming in the future. And I just wanted to end off on this super cool Fire Krypton girl right here, and she's also het for Desert Ghost. And a Krypton is something that looks like a cryptic gene, and cryptic is a newer recessive. Well, it's actually an older recessive, but it seemed to have pop up in everyone's collection last year in 2020 or 2019. So super cool, and it's actually allelic with clown, so it's another recessive allelic, just like the Toffinos, Candinos, and everything like that, which is just really cool. So now we have an allelic with clown, but actually when you get the Krypton or the het cryptic and the het clown together, it visually expresses a cryptic, which is kind of going to be confusing going down the line, especially when you're going to sell something as a Krypton or a cryptic. So if there's het clown in there and you produce something that looks like this, it's a Krypton. If you don't have het clown, it's definitely going to be a het cryptic, but that's not going to always be the case, so it might be confusing. I'm going to go over and show you all the really cool Krypton combos we have here, and just go and explain it a lot better for you guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch that next video because it's going to be very informative, and that's about it. So peace out, see you next video.